My name is Carina Gardner, and I'm what you would call a practical designer. If you're ready to create a life that you love, become an incredible force for good, and generate income while pursuing your dreams, this is the podcast for you. Welcome to Make and Design.
Hi, guys. I'm so excited you're here. Today on the podcast, I have Nadalie Bardo with me. She is a Pinterest coach. And so we're going to talk about some traffic secrets that you are going to want to not miss. I think you're going to really love this. Welcome, Nadalie.
Hi, so happy to be here and talk about my favorite subject, Pinterest.
Yeah. So tell me why you got into Pinterest, and then we'll just dig right into the strategies.
For sure. Maybe like many of you who are listening, I started a blog and I dived into this online world. And the one thing I realized I was missing was traffic. You create that beautiful website, maybe you even have creations and products and blog posts, but what do you do if no one's clicking and no one knows that you exist? So that's when I decided to turn to Pinterest. And honestly, I haven't looked back since.
That's amazing. So why Pinterest? Why not YouTube, Instagram? Why not any of these other platforms?
For sure. We've got lots of options. It feels like every other day there's some new platform, some new strategy that we should be doing. But essentially, I chose Pinterest because when I first started my site, I was doing all the things. And maybe y'all are too. I was posting on Instagram, I was posting on Facebook, Twitter, trying to do everything to grow. But when I dug into my analytics after just posting on Pinterest for a month, I saw that the vast majority of my clicks was coming from Pinterest. So I made a choice right then and there that I was going to triple down on Pinterest. And there's so many good reasons to choose Pinterest over these other platforms. One, maybe you don't like making videos. You don't have to make videos to be successful on Pinterest. 9 out of 10 top ranking pins are image pins. So you just have to design a graphic. You don't have to do any of that social engagement to try and get followers on Instagram. You don't need to comment and like and send people messages. People on Pinterest are trained to click. You don't have to do any of this backbending stuff like post this word in the comment or click link in bio. None of that is a thing on Pinterest. So to me, like if we have limited time and resources and who can't relate to not having enough time to do all the things, you want to put that energy, your precious energy, into a platform that's going to repay you tenfold. And what's beautiful about Pinterest is that when you share your pins, those are the images that are going to link to your content or your creations. It's going to live on that platform forever. Okay. So months and years from now, people will continue to find your pins because it's a search engine. So unlike social media, where it's just a flicker, maybe you get views and engagement in the first 15, 30 minutes, maybe the first 2 days, and then it's gone. So I always say, like, point to a piece of content on any of these other platforms, which years later is still getting you clicks, right? And I started Pinterest 8 years ago. My top pins, many of them are years old, okay? So to me, it is the best value for your time.
Yeah, we've experienced the same thing. And crazily enough, especially the seasonal stuff is fascinating because like we had a Halloween banner that like made it onto the Huffington Post. And then like for years after, like people were still pinning it and it just kept coming up over and over again. I was like, you can't even get the materials for that banner anymore. But it's just like, it is kind of amazing what Pinterest can do for you. I would love for us to dig into some of your favorite strategies on Pinterest. And you really educate people on this because I know you have a course and you use these strategies yourself. So I think you guys are going to get a lot out of this. And we're going to give you some information on this at the end of this episode. So tell me, like, let's start. What's your favorite strategy on Pinterest?
All right. So my personal brand of Pinterest marketing evolves very much around seasonal content. And you just mentioned your Halloween banner. And what you have experienced for yourself is so true. Pinterest is a seasonal platform. Why? We're seasonal humans, okay? We have holidays and celebrations and rituals and things that we do throughout the year. So if you want to get more clicks, you need to lean heavily into the seasonal. And that might sound overwhelming, but here's the thing. Maybe you already have a product or a craft or a certain creation that you're sharing. How about you just put a seasonal spin on it? There's so many ways that you can reskin a craft or repurpose what you've already done to get more mileage out of it. And the reason this works and why it's going to get you more clicks is because of the urgency of seasonality, right? It's the difference between like, here's my, the best March break or summer craft idea for your kids and fun craft idea. You know, it's like your audience will know like, wow, you know what I'm going through right now. You know what I need. So it's irresistible to them. And what's wonderful about Pinterest, and another reason why you should hop on it, is that Pinterest users love to plan ahead and they are doers. More than any other platform, they love to do. So if you can give them that step-by-step guide, that printable, that craft, whatever it is that they are looking for, and you're there, to meet that seasonal need, you're going to get the clicks. You just got to give the people what they want when they want it.
So fascinating, because you said something there that I don't think that's hit me before. And that is, people always complain because like we have to like force deadlines for ourselves, especially designers, because we're like, under pressure for certain things. So we force deadlines, but there are already some forced deadlines in the way that we live, in that Easter is always on a certain day every year. Christmas is always on a certain day every year. So it's very fascinating, the thought of really trying to play up that seasonal thing, because there are deadlines that create that urgency. And I hadn't really thought of it that way before.
Love that.
Yeah,
not all
so
deadlines
good.
are bad.
Yeah,
Sometimes we get excited about them and count down towards them, right?
It's so true. So, like getting in a little bit more into the granular, tell me this. Do you have like a certain timeline you like to post seasonal stuff? Like 2 months ahead of time, 3 months ahead of time, 2 weeks ahead of time? I don't know.
So you're literally reading my mind, because my second tip or trick is to get started early. Too many of us are waiting to the last minute to publish our seasonal stuff. You cannot post your holiday gift guide on the holiday, because unfortunately, you are not Huffington Post, okay? You are not some big publication that can get away with posting something on the day of. You've got to get started earlier. So I've spent a lot of time looking at trend graphs. Essentially, a trend graph shows you how a keyword spikes and falls throughout the year. You can see on Pinterest, or even if you're using a tool like Google Trends, which is also completely free, is search for seasonal keywords typically spikes 90 days out from the keyword or from the celebration. I like to call it the big day, right? So ideally, you want to start pinning, or even for you, if it's more manageable, creating your seasonal content and creations 90 days prior to the big day. And there's also, not just the practical, like, let's be organized, let's try to get things done early, reasons for doing this. But a big reason is that things take time to be indexed on Pinterest. So if you're not familiar with the term index, it simply means that it takes a minute for the search engine to crawl your content and to show it up in search results. That takes a minute, right? On Pinterest, that process can take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to even sometimes longer than a month, depending on your account. So what happens when we wait too late? We have completely missed all of the search. Why? Because people get started early. So Pinterest has even said for Christmas, for example, people are searching as early as July for Christmas content, okay? And that's far more than our 90 days, because that's the biggest holiday of the year. But for every other occasion, 90 days is the sweet spot, right? And if you're listening and you're like, oh my gosh, it's too late for Easter, it's too late for whichever holiday and celebration you're thinking of, shift your mindset. You are now a year early, okay? So still get it done, still get it up, still pin it, because the beautiful thing about Pinterest is that your pins will continue to get found year after year after year, just like your Halloween post, right?
Yeah, so incredibly good. And I love the shifting your mindset because that is really difficult for us, right? Because a lot of times we'll be like, oh, it's too late. It's November, Black Friday, and you don't put the Christmas stuff up. And I'm always like, people still buy Christmas after Christmas, right? Like the
Mhm.
number of times we look in our design stores and people are still buying our Christmas stuff in January, it like blows my mind. I don't understand it. But hey, that's what happens. So it's like, go ahead and get it up. And I love the idea of like you're really doing it a year in advance, which is incredible. Which leads me to the question, and I think I know the answer, but I'd love to hear how you kind of talk about it or think about it. But in year one, you're going to have only so many pins, and in year two, you're going to have more pins. Like, is it a stacking effect to have a lot of pins over the years? Like, does that help you?
Oh, 100%. Like, and I'll give you like a real life story. I transitioned to becoming a digital nomad and I traveled 16 months straight. During those 16 months, I didn't post anything on Pinterest, but I still grew my traffic year after year because I had 6+ years of pins on this platform. There wasn't a search term that I was targeting that you would not find my pin for, right? So, unlike social media, where the minute you stop posting, game over, right? The algorithm is like, oh, you don't care. You're not feeding me every 20 minutes. We're done, right? Pinterest does not do that to you. So, yes, there is a stacking effect. And I know that me telling you this, you might be listening and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to go create seasonal content. Evergreen content is already enough. Like, how do I handle it? It's okay. Calm down. If all you do this year is one seasonal post for all the major holidays, amazing. Next year, you'll do another one. And the year after that, you'll do another one. And then in a handful of years, you'll be sitting on a stash of seasonal content and creations that are just going to level you up year after year, making it easier and easier for you to get that sweet, sweet traffic.
So good. I love it so much. Okay, what other strategies do you have for us?
Okay, so you've like led me to the perfect place because my third trick is to design multiple pins per link. And maybe you've heard this before, like don't just share it once. I think a lot of us can get into the habit of over creation and under promoting. Like you may have heard that phrase, like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, did it actually fall? Does it exist? So if you post and create something and nobody finds it and nobody buys it or subscribes to it or downloads it, does it exist? And we can put all of our energy into creating and forgetting that promotion is an important part, if not a more important part. So I recently, redid my email welcome sequence and I told the story of how I got started on Pinterest and how I hit 1 million views my very first month with only 5 blog posts. Okay. You don't need a lot to get a lot. All right. And the secret to that is to design multiple pins per post. And the thing you need to keep in mind is that you don't want every single pin to look exactly the same. Y'all are designers. You got this. You can stick within your branding, yet make your pins look unique. Have a light pin, have a dark pin, have a pin that's mostly an image of whatever it is they're signing up for. Like, get creative. And when you're designing these multiple pins per link, you want to spread them out. So, a common issue or mistake that I see a lot of creatives make when it comes to Pinterest is that Pinterest is usually the last thing on their to-do list. It's like, okay, yes, I should share. And you go and you dump every single image of your Etsy product, of your, shop stuff, your Zazzle, all that. You just dump it on Pinterest and then you run. You pin 200 pins in one day and then you're like, oh, I'm done. I never have to come back, right? Instead, I encourage you, schedule those babies out instead. This is how we build consistency, right? So don't just share 10 pins to one link all at once. Use a scheduler, space them out. I like to stick to the 1 week in between the same link rule. So for example, if I have a product that I made or a creation, I'm going to wait a week before I share another pin, a new pin to that link again, and no repinning. All right. You want to make sure every single pin you're posting is brand new never before pinned or posted on Pinterest, because Pinterest does not like duplicated content. It doesn't want us to be repinning the same thing over and over again. So that's my tip. You want to design multiple pins per link and just space them out using a scheduler. You can use Tailwind. You can use something like Buffer, which is literally $60 a year. It's quite affordable, and you can schedule unlimited to every single platform. So it's quite, wonderful. So use whatever schedule you have and just space those babies out.
Amazing. Okay, so we're out of time today, but I want people to come find you and see all the cool stuff you're doing. I know you coach on this, you have a course on this. Can you tell people where they can find you?
For sure. You just want to head to yourpincoach.com and you'll find me. You'll see you can sign up for my free Pinterest masterclass where I share the top 3 mistakes to avoid on Pinterest. And if you want to know all the rules for Pinterest, on my homepage, you'll also see that I have my Pinterest best practices cheat sheet where I break it all down for you with lots of examples and links to a whole bunch of YouTube videos to help you. So you can find me at yourpincoach.com.
Amazing. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this. You're going to get so much out of this. Go check her out. Go see what she's got going on. Nadalie also is recently in our last summit, Sweet Life of a Designer Summit, and we're really excited that she is participating in that. Go check it out. If you are blogging, if you're a designer who is doing a lot with imagery, which we all are, I think that this could be something that could really, really help you. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
Did you know you have access to more free design content, die cut files, and sewing patterns? Join our exclusive VIP group for free by going to designsweetcourses.com/free.